All right, shalom, shalom, boys. Here. Well, welcome to the covenant. And what am I doing? I'm taking a walk in the neighborhood that I live in, and I wanted to do something. Was just do a basic review of two new homesteads that are being developed. Now, I spoke about this one, and this is the same street that I live on. And what I wanted to do was just come and to show you folks what it looks like to develop a homestead. This one, they've been working diligently to clear the land, and let me tell you, all of this was filled with trees and stuff, and as you see, they got their camper there, and they're working to develop the land. And as you can see, they've had to bring in bulldozers and stuff like that in order to develop the land. And as you can see, they've been doing a damn good job of flattening out the area. And you see that? They still have some flattening out and stuff to do. But this is about 10 acres, real hilly and stuff. And they're working to continue to develop it. But, they got to do septic. They got to, fix the road and everything that coming in to this property. But it is looking pretty good. They just have to put in the work. But it is a lot of work to develop a homestead. It's not something that you just go ahead and do. But they are working diligently to do it. You see, that's their camper that they stay in while they're working on it. But I did a review of that homestead or that land development like a year ago. And so when it comes to, developing this stuff, it takes money. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes resources, and you have to be in it for the long haul. This is not something that, the average family, and I know who they are, but this is not something that the average family could just go ahead and do. Recently there's been a rash of NFL players that has been, they're not retired, they're leaving the NFL, purchasing farms and, developing homesteads and purchasing property. So, it's definitely what you can do to get it done. And this is another homestead right here. As you see, it's right next to the other one. And you see that fence? I built that fence right there. Oh, it goes all the way around. Oh, it goes all the way to the side. And, this is what it's about, being neighborly and being an asset. But you see, it's funny, sometimes my sheep will come up and graze on. Yeah, my sheep will walk all the way up the block to go and graze over here and over here. Now, this is somebody's, I know who these people are. They own this tract right here, and they ain't selling it for nobody. This is generational wealth right here. But then you have this homestead right here. And I know the folks that have recently purchased this. This is going to be another homestead. So these are more of my neighbors. And as you see on this particular property, see, this is what I'm talking about. Because see, these properties are not being financed. They're being purchased straight out cash. And this again, is surrounded by trees. It has power. It has I remember the previous people that were here, but it has a lake, or not a lake, but a pond here. and it has a pad, and that pad was already here, and they have septic. So when they're starting out, they're going to be able to have septic and water. No, I'm sorry, they have water. So that's a water well right there. And it is functioning, it works. And, you know, they didn't have to go ahead and, you know, get a water well or dig a well because it was already here. And as you see, they've been clearing out all of this area right here to set up their homestead. But this is what it looks like, and they'll be able to set up camp and everything. And you see right there again, that's the water well. So, you know, that's a critical aspect of your setup is a well. I mean, if you have a well, you can start off with that, man, it's good to go. But again, as you see, these are homesteads that are being developed in my area. And this is why I say all the time, you have to develop relationships with these people, because these are my neighbors. That's my neighbors. I've done business. Again, I said I built that fence. And then the property next to it, they have another homesteader. So in all, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 different homesteaders. And again, the name of the game is that, you know, you want to develop positive relationships with the people that you are in proximity to. And the beautiful thing about it is, again, I know these people. So it's not like we're starting off from scratch. I've done business with these people. We're in good relationships in terms of, you know, just being neighborly. And again, you know, what we like about this road is that, you know what I'm saying, you know, and if anything happens, it'll be cut off. We know who our neighbors are, and we can cut down this, and we can shut down this entire block relatively easily, because there's only 4 or 5 properties on it. And I also know the guy that lives at the end of the road as well. But these are some beautiful properties. I mean, again, you know, well, he has a hydrant in this area that I have to go ahead and tap into. You can't see it, but it's right there. And then he'll have a hydrant in this section. But yeah, you know, I mean, this is what it's all about right here. You know, I mean, developing homesteads and developing relationships with people that are in your area, so that, you know, you can develop those mutual assistance groups. And this is why it's so important to have good relations with your neighbors, so that, you know, when times get tough, you know, you can develop that relationship. And this is why I like, you know, doing business with my neighbors, and I know exactly who they are. I've met their families. I've gone over and the neighbor down the block, you know, like I told you, he builds Walmart centers all over. So he'd be away during the week, and he asked me to, you know, just look over his family, you know what I'm saying, just make sure everything ain't going crazy, just in case, you know, he needs something, he can call up, or he can call me up, and I can just, man, I can run across the street to his property, right to his house if necessary. So it's important to do these things, to develop these things. And these people have real resources, real skills, and they're family people. They're not just single people, they're family men. And it's important that, you know, you go ahead, bake that apple pie and bring it to them. Because when it comes to, you know, developing the mutual assistance groups and knowing your neighbor, and being an asset, not a liability, you know, it makes the difference. You know, it's nothing like the idea that, you know, they'll come up and they'll knock on, or they'll come up and they'll call me up and they say, hey, you know, I got this person coming over, can you watch out? Or, you know, I have this package being delivered, or this heavy equipment is coming, or, you know, anything like that. Or can you watch, you know, as they do this, so forth and so on. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be able to be in that situation. And as you see, this is the block that I'm on, and it's interesting. The only person that I really don't interact with is a neighbor next to me. She's cool though, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, she's heavily into that alternate lifestyle, so you know, we cool. But you know what I'm saying. I mean, I don't interact with her much, but we're cool. You know what I'm saying. I mean, there's no issues whatsoever because you got to understand something. When you're surrounded by people who don't trust you or you don't trust, uh, and something happens, it's gonna be nasty. It's gonna be nasty. Could you imagine, you know, living in a community or hey, living on a property with somebody else and secretly they don't like you or they have malice in their heart towards you, and then something happens, and then they turn on one another. You know, somebody did a video talking about this very same concept of people that you know within mutual assistance groups, people that that new movie that came out that turned into a series, Homeland, of people that you know what I'm saying can descended on a piece of property together and internal strifes and stuff. You know, these are things that you just want to avoid like the plague because uh, the first killings that'll take place, the first unalivings that'll take place, the first conflicts that'll take place will surefire be those who are in close proximity to you. So you want to make sure that you're developing good relationships, not fake relationships, not phony relationships, not people that you know what I'm saying have an evil eye towards you or that you can't trust and that you can't discern because we're seeing it in the hour that we're living in, and that's not a situation that you want to be in. You want to make sure that you are genuine in your relationships, that you are genuine in your connections, and it's truly about mutual assistance. It's truly about developing relationships with others for mutual benefit and respect. And if you can't develop that in the green, then let me tell you, you are running into a dire situation in the red. And as you see how close it is, we can walk to one another's property. And as you see, I'm back here on my homestead. But I tell you, man, it's just a beautiful thing. People are getting it. They're moving. They're developing the relationships necessary. They're making the connections. And at the end of the day, everybody wins. But yeah, you want to make sure that you got a gate too. But all right, shalom.